Thank you all for joining us today for the Arts Internship information session. I hope you all see my slides. So the agenda for today, I'll give a presentation of the Arts Internship services, and then we'll have two presentations from some of our past interns. And as I mentioned, we'll have time for questions at the end, but feel free to send your questions in the chat as we go. Hopefully I'll address them during the session, but we'll get to them towards the end. So make sure to stick around for the Q&A part of it. So first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jade. I'm the manager of the Arts Internship Office, but I was once in your shoes as well, a Faculty of Arts student looking for internships, and I had the pleasure of conducting two internships through the AIO, one that I found on my own and another that was one of our postings. So again, I'm always happy to share my own internship experiences, but today I'll focus on the resources that we offer. So Arts Internship 101, what do we offer? The obvious one being internship, but we also offer funding opportunities as well as training and mentorship to accompany you throughout your internship journey. As you can see on our timeline, so it's not only the resources that we offer to look for internships, but the training goes from preparing for applications as well as preparing for your internship. And we offer support during the internships in the summer, as well as reflection exercises when you return to campus in the fall. So I'll mention it later in the presentation, but all of our resources really focus on summer internships, as there is no co-op program in the Faculty of Arts. So we really encourage students to do 3 to 4 months internships during the summer months, so May to August. So first of all, I'll go through the different types of internship opportunities that we have, and I'll show you where to find these opportunities, how to apply for them, and a bit of the timeline for each of them. So I always like to start with a definition of what is an internship versus what is not an internship. So to really define the internship, what you want to look for are learning objectives, training, and supervision and mentorship. So it's really meant to be an experiential learning activity outside of the classroom, which you go into with a learner's mindset. So you're not necessarily expected, it's not a job where you're expected to have necessarily 3 years of experience. This is really a learning opportunity for you to test out some of your skills and to gain new ones as well. And as I mentioned, it's not a mandatory part of your studies. So this is something you can decide to do at your own time. But again, our office is here to offer you the resources to find those opportunities. It's important as well to differentiate it from a part-time job, again, in terms of the supervision and mentorship that you are getting during this activity. That's what really makes it an internship. And we really want to warn you as well about two types of activities that could be branded as internships online, but can be harmful to students and to the communities that they are serving. So through volunteerism, which I think we don't see as much of these days, but those are opportunities that are framed as often have an element of travel and serving a community, but that are often very fee-based, where you pay a large fee to have these internship opportunities. And those can be very unsafe situations and quite exploitative on the student's end. So we really warn you against opportunities that ask you to pay a fee in order to find internships. So really, if you see any of those opportunities around campus, please let us know. And when you do your own internship search online, just to be aware of those opportunities. You have access to lots of resources on campus where you are not expected to pay a fee beforehand. So a quick warning about that. So here are 3 of the categories of internships that are offered through our office. So the first one are what we call the internship posting. So those are partnerships with organizations that are reserved for Faculty of Arts students. The second one is our ARIA program. So those are research internships on campus with McGill professors. And finally, we also offer resources for you to find your own internship. So beyond the partnerships that we do have. And for those opportunities, we have an awards program where if you find an unpaid internship, you could apply for funding through our office. So I'll go into more details about all of these opportunities. In terms of eligibility criteria, obviously each opportunity is going to have more specific eligibility criteria, but the overall criteria for all of these opportunities is that you have to be registered in the Faculty of Arts, so in one of these listed programs, so arts, arts and science, social work, theology, Masters of Arts, social work, and information studies. A very important aspect to note as well in terms of eligibility is that you have to be returning to McGill in the same program in the fall semester after the internship. So unfortunately, if you're graduating, these opportunities are not available to you. We often get the question if you are going on exchange in the fall, whether you are eligible or not, and the answer is yes, you are still enrolled as a McGill student. So if you go on exchange, you are still eligible. However, if you're graduating and then returning to McGill for a master's program, that would not count as the same program. So you will not be eligible. Again, if you have any more specific questions about your eligibility, you can always send us an email, but just to note that our resources overall are really for returning students. And as I mentioned already, we really focus on opportunities for the summer, so between May to August. So for graduating students, as I mentioned, unfortunately, our opportunities are not available. However, there are other resources on campus that are available for graduating students that we really want to highlight. So there is a section on our website where we link you to other resources. I'll be referring to them a lot, but the career planning service is the McGill-wide office that takes care of career planning and career advising. And they even have internship opportunities for graduating students. So the PASI Foundation Fellowship and the CBC internship. So just to note that if you're graduating, there are other resources available, just not through the AIO. So to go back to the three opportunities that I've listed earlier. So the first one being our internship postings. As I mentioned, those are partnerships with host organizations that we create a relationship with. And we facilitate the selection of for these positions, but ultimately the decision is up to the host organization to select the intern for the position. And all of these positions come with an award. So on the posting, it will be indicated the amount of the award. So just to know that these are funded positions through our office. As you can see on the right, there are different categories of internships. So we try to have a wide variety of postings available to students. And I will show you a bit later what it looks like on the website and where to find those internship postings. Secondly, we have our ARIA internships, so the Arts Undergraduate Research Internship Awards. So this program supports undergraduate students who undertake research with a faculty member on campus. And the application, you have to apply jointly with a professor. And as a student, you will receive an award of $5,000 for your summer research internship. And finally, if you find your own internship, we do offer some resources, which I will show you on the website as well. So we have a handout with different steps to find an internship on your own. So it kind of summarizes a lot of what I'll be going through today, but it gives you some additional questions, for example, to define your interest and try to find an internship in your field. As I've already mentioned, the career planning service has a platform called My Future. I hope most of you are already familiar with it. But this is really, again, a McGill-wide platform that has all of the opportunities available to McGill students. And we really recommend you to go through either to career planning service for advising and also on the online My Future platform for those opportunities. And our office also offers a lot of resources to connect with past interns. This is really one of the advantages of going through the AIO is that you get to connect with people and people in the Faculty of Arts who have completed that exact internship, and you're able to ask them questions about their experience. So I will show you on our website a few tricks and tips on how to find past interns' experiences, such as our award recipients page, as well as our mentorship program, which I'll mention, where you get to be paired with a past intern directly and have a one-on-one mentorship with them and ask all of your questions. And again, if you secure an unpaid internship, you could apply for an award through our office. So beyond the internship opportunities and the awards, if you find your own internship and you would like to have it officially recognized by McGill, there are two resources available to you in order to have your internship officially recognized. So the first one is called the Student Experience Record. If you are familiar, if you have been at McGill already, it used to be called the CCR, the Co-Curricular Record. And that record is for everything that you do outside of the classroom. So everything that's not on your transcript, and it can be used in addition to your CV or cover letters, and it can be sent directly to graduate schools or to employers in the future, so directly from McGill. So it's a really a more official recognition of your accomplishments and including internships. So our office is able to give approval for only internship opportunities in the Faculty of Art. And this record is also available on the My Future platform. So you'll be able to have one neat document with all of the experiences that you've had outside the classroom. So again, the record includes other opportunities other than internships, but just to know that our office only gives approval for the internship opportunities. And additional to that, there is a way to get academic credit for internships. Just to note, again, this is different than the internship is never a mandatory part of your program. However, certain departments offer a course where you do usually a research paper with a professor on campus. And this is a course that you take after your internship. So usually you would do your internship in the summer, and then once it's completed, you come back to McGill in the fall, and then you register for this internship course and complete a research paper and write a research paper based on what you did during your internship experience. Just to know that you have to apply before you start your internship. So you would apply in the spring, complete your internship in the summer, and then complete the course in the fall. Because you have to find an academic supervisor before starting the internship and getting approval from the department. So it's not a requirement, and each department, again, not every department offers this course, and each department has their own requirements that are specific to the course. Just like any other course, there are some requirements sometimes. So some departments, there's a GPA requirement. Others, there's a number of credits that you need to have completed. So just to note that it does exist, but it's not necessarily mandatory. So for international internships, there are also a few requirements and resources available to you. Just to note, if you are doing an internship outside of Montreal, you will have to register your internship on the travel registry. So that's really an app on your phone where you enter the details of your location and the duration of your activity. And that way, if something happens, we'll be able to reach you directly. However, if you're thinking of going outside of Canada, then there is the pre-departure orientation that's offered on my courses. And this preparation is, this orientation, sorry, is really to prepare you for international travel. So it covers a lot of resources like visa, insurance, and all the things, the steps that you need to take in order to do an international activity. It's recommended to do it 3 to 6 months before departing for your activity. And once you have completed the orientation, it's not mandatory for you to go on an activity. So if you're thinking already for next summer to go somewhere international, I really recommend that you complete the pre-departure orientation in the upcoming months. As you can see on this page, there are some cycles to register. So every month, the first week or so is when you're able to register for the course, and then it's going to show up on my courses, and you have until the end of the month to complete it. And when you have completed the course, you'll receive a certificate of completion that you want to make sure that you download it and that you keep it safely somewhere because you'll be needing it for application. So if you want to apply for a posting that's outside of Canada, or if you find your own internship outside of Canada and then you want to apply for an award, you'll have to upload the certificate of completion of the pre-departure orientation. So again, this is something, if you want to get started, really get ahead of your internship search, I really recommend doing the pre-departure orientation as soon as possible. So the next cycle would be October 1st. And just to note, if you have any questions, this is not the Arts Internship Office that runs this program. This is by the McGill Abroad office. And there's an email at the bottom here where you can email the safety abroad officer if you have any questions or any troubles accessing the orientation. If you want to know more about how to find an international internship and how to prepare for one, we're going to have a separate info session on October 30th. Again, I'll show you where to find all the links to register for our info session. But just to note, again, if you are thinking of doing an international internship, you should come to this info session to learn more. We'll have some guest speakers from the McGill Abroad office, as well as students who have completed international internships. And next, I'll go into more details about the funding opportunities that are available to you. So as I've mentioned, we have internship awards available. So those awards are partial funding to offset internship-related costs, such as travel, accommodations, visas, and other expenses. It's also available for internships that are local as well as international. And these awards are generously funded by both alumni and programs such as the Arts Undergraduate Society. And as I mentioned, all the postings come with an award. However, if you find your own internship, then you could apply for these awards once you have a confirmed summer internship. Just to note that these awards are also only available to cover summer internships, not internships in the fall and the winter. So for the internship awards, we had 153 recipients last summer. They are open to all returning art students. So as I've mentioned, Bachelor of Arts, Arts and Science, Social Work, as well as master's students, as long as you are returning the semester after your internship. In order to apply, you need to have the internship offer already secured, and the internship should take place between May to August 2026. And there's more details on the website about the eligibility criteria, but again, 8 to 12 weeks is usually what we recommend. There's a minimum GPA requirement of 2.7. There's some flexibility if you've had some, some things happen that might have impacted your GPA. It will be considered in your application. And the deadline, it will be in March 2026. As I mentioned, the internship postings come with an award automatically, so you do not need to send an application in March. It will be indicated on each of the postings. So the picture on the right is an example of what the postings look like. And each of them have a category of remuneration, and it will indicate the amount of the award. For now, all of the postings on the website were for summer 2025. So it can be an indication of what the awards might be for each of the postings. However, just to note that it's going to change for summer 2026. And to note that all the awards are different for each of the positions, depending on the location, the length of the internship, the number of hours, etc. So yeah, all of the awards are indicated on the internship postings for all of our partnerships. And if you are selected for one of these postings, you do not need to apply additionally to the awards. To note as well that there is additional funds available for students who meet the need-based criteria. So the EEO need-based bursaries and are dispersed by the Scholarship and Student Aids Office. So these bursaries are really available for additionally to what we offer with the awards. So whether it's for a posting or for if you find your own internship and apply for an award, you could also apply for the EO need-based bursary. Our office needs to offer recognition of the internship, so through the student experience record that I mentioned earlier. And once you have the letter of approval from our office, you can go to the Scholarship and Student Aids Office and you submit an application, and they're able to provide additional funding. So especially if you're thinking of traveling and you're wondering if you might not have the financial means to do those activities, we really recommend going through the EO bursary. Just to note that you need to have your internship approved by our office before the start of the internship to get the student experience records letter. But once you have that approval, you can go to the Scholarship and Student Aids Office at any point, either during the internship or even after the internship to ask about the financial support. Again, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer, but just to put it out there, all the financial resources are available for students. As well, as I mentioned, our ARIA awards. So those are the research internships. We had 29 undergraduate students receive an ARIA award in 2025. This program is only for undergraduate students, as it's meant to promote undergraduate research in the Faculty of Arts. The GPA requirement is 3.0 for this program. It's a bit more strict as it is a research program. This is really targeted for students who are doing well in research courses and are enjoying the academic path and would like to continue. If you're thinking of doing a graduate school, continuing in academia, this is a really great program for that. And it is targeted for students who have already completed 60 credits by the start of the internship. So at the time, when you apply, you have to calculate whether you will have completed the 60 credits. And the deadline to apply for that will be in February 2026. So yes, for the ARIA Awards, our office provides an award of 2,500, and then the faculty member who supervises you will have to match that amount by another 2,500. So as a student, you will be receiving a total of $5,000. Just to note, when you reach out to the professors for this program, that the award needs to be processed through Banner Student Aid. So you do not need to understand necessarily what Banner Student Aid is, but just to mention it to professors to make sure, because sometimes they might have the funds. However, they need to be able to process it through this specific aid program. Again, if you are interested in a research internship and you meet the eligibility criteria I just listed, we have another info session next week on October 2nd. So I invite you to come to that info session. We'll also have some speakers who have completed ARIA internships, and we'll be able to give you more information about their experience, and I'll go into more details about how to find a professor and what the internship process looks like for ARIA. Okay, so next for our training opportunities. We offer, as I mentioned, a diverse range of events and workshops and info sessions like this one today. So first of all, at this stage, it can help you understand what to expect from an internship, connect with previous interns, and start preparing for your application, especially, again, all of our events in the fall. It's really great. First of all, congrats for being here today. You already did the first step. But we'll have a lot of more opportunities, again, to connect with other interns and for you to get a better understanding of what you're looking for and your expectations for summer 2026. So as I mentioned, we have 2 upcoming info sessions. October 2nd is the ARIA info session, and October 30th is the preparing for international internship. To start preparing your applications, we also offer workshops. So we have a CV writing workshop and a cover letter writing workshop. The CV writing is either on November 7 or November 19, and the cover letter November 14 or 26. These are all virtual workshops, and they are interactive workshops. So we bring in a facilitator from an external facilitator from the Yes Entrepreneurship Office, and it's a very skilled and trained person who will be able to give you feedback on your CV and give you really advice on how to prepare a CV and a cover letter for an internship application. So I really recommend you. They're also offered on Zoom, just like today's session, but they are not recorded and they're a lot more interactive than today's session. So I really recommend you to sign up for these. If ever you are not able to come to these workshops, I will share with you also some other resources available through CAP, the Career Planning Service, to get your CV cover letter reviewed. However, I really recommend signing up for the workshops as a first step to preparing your application. For students interested in research internships as well, we have our next annual event on October 21st in the Faculty Club Ballroom. And this is going to be a poster showcase. So as you can see at the bottom, each of the ARIA recipients will be presenting their research poster. And you'll get to hear directly from them about their research projects. And it's also a great networking opportunity where the professors and faculty members will be in attendance. So we really welcome all of you to attend, especially if you're interested in doing a research internship next summer. I will go through all of our websites shortly, but just to note that all of these events that I just mentioned are all listed on our events page on the website. And finally, for mentorship opportunities, we have our mentorship program that is open for applications for this school year. So the Faculty of Arts Mentorship Initiative that we refer to as AMI, it was created in collaboration with the Arts Undergraduate Society in order to form a student network of past and future interns. So as a mentee, you can sign up and be paired with a student who has completed an internship this summer. Again, it's pretty low commitment. You get to talk to the mentor. We have a meet and greet event on November 12th, where you get to meet your mentor during this event, but you can obviously also set up other meetings, either online or in person. And for the first year, we're using the McGill Mentorship Network platform. So it really elevates the experience of the mentorship and really facilitates the connection with your mentors. So we really invite everyone to sign up. The deadline to sign up as a mentee is October 5th. So again, we really encourage you. So we'll have the first meet and greet event in November, and then we'll have more events in January as well for the AMI program. So, but you have to make sure to register before October 5th. And again, with this new platform, we're hoping to have even better pairing with the mentors. So you can select which kind of internship you're interested in doing, what kind of field, what kind of area you're interested in, and then we'll try to match you with a mentor that has had experience in that field. So we really encourage you to sign up. And as promised, I will go through our website as it has a lot of the resources needed for your internship search. So here, just to verify, can you see the website all good? Yes, okay, great. All right, so on our website, so you can skip the first 2 pages and go straight to the internship section. So the internship postings are all listed on this page. As you can see, all the information is for summer 2025. So you can already go through it in order of to get information, but obviously things will change and will be updated for summer 2026. To note, for the internship opportunities, we'll be uploading them by the end of this semester, so November, December, up to January in terms of the new opportunities. So most of the opportunities that are listed here should be coming back, but it's possible that there are some changes. And we are working on new partnerships as well, so we'll be adding some newer ones as well. But those are long-term partnerships. So unless the host organization is no longer able to host the interns for next summer, these should all be returning internships. So on the main page, you can scroll through and revisit the steps to apply. So I won't go into too much detail today about the application process. We'll have more info sessions going in depth about the application process, but a few key information to know is that what's required for this application is a CV and a cover letter. So it's pretty, straightforward. I think these days some of the application processes can be a lot more demanding, but we really want you to have a very strong CV and cover letter. So again, we offer a lot of resources to help you craft those CVs and cover letters. So the workshops I've already mentioned, as well as the CAP resources. So again, they are linked in several places, but CAP, first of all, has some guides that I will show you what they look like. So if you don't have a CV, or if you have a CV but you want to update it, I really recommend going through their guides. They really offer, even though their formats are really great and good to copy if you're not sure where to start. And at the bottom as well, especially in their CV guide, they have a list of action verbs that you can use. So again, those are really helpful guides, as well as their cover letter guide, which also, again, has an example of a format and some specific advice. So these are really good to get started. And again, there's more than just the CV cover letter. There's also interview, how to find a job, etc. And then once you have a draft ready, you can go to the Career Planning Services drop-in hours, and you can bring your draft and they can review it with you and again, give you more personalized feedback on your draft. So again, if you are just getting started, I really recommend going through the guides and signing up for the workshop. And then once you have your drafts and you want to get them reviewed, then I would recommend going to the drop-in appointments. It is every day, Monday to Friday, from 1:30 to 2:30 in the downtown campus, which is in the Brown building. So yeah, I want to say just across the street from us, but we are in the Leacock building on McTavish. So yeah, the Brown Student Services building on the second floor. And again, CAPS has such a wide variety of resources, but for CV cover letter writing, they are really your best ally. Something else that's important to note for the internship postings is that you can apply to 3 internships maximum. So again, we have a wide variety of internship postings, but just to note already, you can go through them and start to think if there are 3 that really stand out to you. Again, the goal for that is that we want you not just, it's really quality over quantity. So you really need to write a targeted CV and cover letter for each of the internship that you're applying for. And then you will be ranking them in order of preference. So those are 2 of the very important things to note. So again, you can go through this page and kind of see all of the application process. And then you can go through the different categories. So again, based on your interest for this internship, you can go through the categories. And for each of them, you'll see this link, which is the internship posting itself. So as I mentioned, it has all the details about the host organization, description, the duties, the requirements. It's good to have a good look at the requirements. Again, those were for last summer, so it's possible that things change for next summer, but they can already give you an idea of the requirements for each of the postings, as well as the hours. So some of them are full-time, some of them are part-time, some of them are a bit shorter or longer. And the award amount, again, this was for last summer, but you can refer to that as well, and the different steps to apply. So we'll leave them up for a few weeks for your reference. And then once we start uploading the one for 2026, we'll take down these ones. You also have links to past intern stories. So these are the summer 2024 recipients. But again, in the upcoming weeks, we'll be uploading the stories of summer 2025 interns. And these are reports from the interns where you get to see pictures and reports to hear more about their experience doing this internship. And this is our little graphic that we use on social media. So again, you can see the diversity of postings that we have. We have some in Montreal, in Toronto, in Ottawa, in different fields, so arts and culture, diplomacy, human rights development, participatory research, a lot with the UNHCR as well. Some of them are remote, some of them are in person. Again, those things could change for next summer. But it's really great to already go through those categories and get a sense of the internships available to you. I skipped the main page, but also there is a more in-depth definition of the internship that I mentioned earlier. So if ever you find an opportunity and you're unsure whether it would qualify as an internship, it's always better to go through our office and to talk to me directly if you're unsure, but you can always refer to this description to have a better idea. There's also another blurb on the volunteerism opportunities, as well as the fee-based organization, and the timeline that I mentioned earlier to kind of help you guide yourself through the internship search process. So again, the fall semester, September, is really getting to know all the resources that are available to you. And October, December might seem early to look for next summer. However, it's really a key time to connect with other people as the applications start as soon as January. So, it's really good to do your research and to start preparing this semester so that you're ready to apply when next semester starts. Under postings as well, just to note for early deadlines. So it is possible that we have some opportunities that require travel requirements and security clearance that have an earlier deadline. So that will be in January. So just to note as well. So if you go back under internships, to find your own internship is the middle category. So again, I really invite you to read through this page. There is some additional advice. It's part of the Q&A or the commonly asked questions, but applying as a first year, whether you're U0 or U1, we get a lot of the questions whether it is feasible to get an internship as a first year, and it definitely is. Again, the internship resources that we offer really vary in terms of requirements and experience required. We really recommend going through the workshops, going through the mentorship program if you are a first year, to get as much information as possible about what opportunities are available to you. There is also a program through the career planning services called the Micro XP program, where if you would like to build on your experiences, you can do a micro internship that is 1 to 5 days, and that's something that you can add to your CV. That is a really great resource. So again, there's a lot of resources available. And also something we hear a lot from first years is, I don't have enough experience, or the experience I have is not directly related. And for that, I would say to really go to the CAPS advisors and to bring your CV, and it can really help you frame whatever experience you do have, and to frame it correctly on your CV and cover letter, as well as maybe thinking of ways that you can build your CV through micro XP or through clubs on campus. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And again, I could ramble for a long time, but I really encourage you all to go to the advisors for one-on-one advising so that you can look into your own specific situation and see what next steps need to be taken. So to help you with that, as I mentioned, we have a handout. So it's a little checklist as well, with lots of advice that really complements today's info session. And even in a few weeks, if you're like, oh, I haven't started my internship search, you can go back to this and go through the different steps to find your internship. There's another link to the CAPS guide and career advising session. I forgot to mention, but there's also some virtual ones that you can book on the My Future platform. So if ever you can make it to the 1:30 to 2:30, you can also book online. And the My Future database, I'm not sure if I'm able to log onto it. Let me try. All right. I might not log onto it, but the My Future database has a lot of resources. It's not just internships, there's also job opportunities. But it, again, has a lot of resources both locally, internationally. And if you need help navigating the database, I really recommend asking the career planning advisors for support. And as I mentioned, if you find your own internship, you can apply for funding. So next to our funding tab. So on our funding page, there's a list of all of the donors that generously fund the award. And then the steps to apply, so similar to the posting section, all of the information is for summer 2025. However, you can already have a look to have an idea of the selection process. So again, there is more details about the eligibility criteria, ineligibility, and selection criteria, as well as instructions to apply. So when you do apply, again, you need to have an offer secured and you submit a budget, and then we try to match your budget based on the funds available for the year. So we often get the question of, is it possible to have an estimate of how much you'll be receiving? Unfortunately, we cannot provide that amount because it depends on many factors, such as the budget that you submit, as well as how many applicants we have and how many funds we have available for the summer. But you can already have a look at those requirements. But for now, you can focus on finding your internship opportunity first. But just to keep in mind that this is available, as well as the need-based bursary through Scholarship and Student Aid Office. I mentioned earlier the award recipients page. So you can view the recipients for the past years, all the way back to the AIO's creation 20 years ago. So this is a great resource where you can go through and see the different opportunities that students have done. So this is both students who have completed the internship postings, as well as students who found their own internship. For example, to see there's proof that U0 and U1 students have found internships. So here you can see, you can do a Control F, do a little search on this page and see the different opportunities that students have done based on their level. And you can also look for your major, for example, or your area of interest, English department, for example, and seeing again what kind of internships students have done. If ever you're interested to reach out to a student specifically about their internship, you can always send us an email and we can put you in touch with that person more specifically if you have any questions. So this is our award recipients page. Very quickly, this is the ARIA page. So again, if you're interested in the research program, I recommend that you come to the info session, but you can also browse through. We also have another ARIA recipients page where you can see the different profiles, and we'll be uploading as well their research posters. But again, I really invite you to come to the event. Well, good to know this one doesn't work, but to come to the event on October 21st to hear directly from them about their experience. Our story section, so as I mentioned, we upload reports with pictures and a written report for all of our award recipients. So I encourage you to go through these as well. And once again, if you'd like to be put in touch with someone, you can send us an email and we'll put you in touch with the student. Again, for now, there's only the one from 2024, but in the upcoming weeks, we'll be uploading and publishing the one for summer 2025. Our mentorship program. So if you want to find the link to apply, here is the platform. And again, this is a really great platform, and I really encourage you to sign up. If you can attend the November 12th event, you can just let us know, but you'll have other opportunities to connect with your mentor as well. So again, I really invite you to sign up for the ME mentorship. The travel section as well. So we'll have our other info session, but it's always good if you have any questions about international and travel for your internship, I invite you to browse through here. For students, so this is more admin questions about document requests. So as I mentioned, the two ways to have your internship organized is either through student experience record or academic credit. For credits, you can review here all the departments that do offer a credit course. And for each of them, you can review it. And it's always good to talk to your departments as well to know if it's a good fit for your degree planning. But yeah, just for you to know that it does exist. As well as the student experience record. So we use the Microsoft form. So if ever you need to apply for one of these resources, just to know that all the steps are listed on our website, and obviously you don't have to log in, but you just log in with your McGill credentials and you have access to these web forms, and this is how you apply for those resources as well as other resources. And then for events, so obviously today's info session, I'm not sure how you registered today. Maybe you already went through our events page, but for all of the events that I mentioned, so the info sessions, the ARIA event, the Speak Up Letter workshop, you can go through our website, and then there's always a link to register. So whether it's online or in person, you can find all of the information here. And finally, our contact page. So there's links to our social media, our drop-in hours that I'll mention a bit in a minute, as well as our listserv and newsletter that I really encourage you to sign up for, and a bit of an introduction of our staff here. I see that time is flying and I am talking a lot, so I will go back to my slides and let our student speakers take it away and share their internship experiences. I don't know if I'm still sharing my slides. I don't think so, but that's okay. I will let Sarah introduce herself.
No, we can see your slides. It's
Oh,
all,
yeah.
all good.
All right, perfect. So take it away, Sarah. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and I recently graduated from McGill with an arts degree in political science and gender, sexuality, feminist, and social justice studies. I think you can see it there on the flyer. But yeah, during my time at McGill, I interned with the permanent representation of Peru to the International Civil Aviation Organization, also known as the ICAO, which is based here in Montreal. And I found this internship in a pretty informal way through a casual Meet Your Consul event organized by the Peruvian consulate. So I had the opportunity to talk directly with the consul at the time, and I learned that she was also the head of the Peruvian delegation at the ICAO. So later on, when I started looking for internships, I reached out to her to see if I could work with her, and she connected me with the new head of the delegation, who invited me to the office, and in the end, I became their very first intern. Of course, this opportunity wouldn't have been possible without the funding from the Arts Internship Office. And after completing my internship and going into my final year at McGill, I was fortunate to join the AIO staff myself. And while I was there, I helped facilitate a partnership between the Arts Internship Office and the Peruvian delegation at the ICAO, making it an official internship posting offered by the AIO. So, if you're interested in diplomacy or aviation law, I would strongly encourage you to apply once applications open. If you want to get a head start, you can find more information about the internship on the AIO website, like Jade was showing us a few minutes ago. And you can also feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or by email. I'm always happy to share my experience. I think it's really important to rely on the McGill community, especially upper year students. We've been where you are. We know how stressful internships, like internship hunting, can be. And most of us will be happy to share advice, so don't hesitate to ask. The AIO's AMI program is actually a great resource for you to do that. So you get paired with a mentor and they can help you navigate the search more confidently. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you, Jade, for having me, and thank you all for listening. I wish you the best of luck with your internship search.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Great. And then our next speaker, oops, is Maria. So if you know Maria.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maria. Sorry if my voice is a little bit odd. I'm fighting a cold right now. But yeah, I'm currently a McGill student in my last year. I'm doing a joint honors degree in political science and international development, minority and gender studies. So very similar to Sarah's experience. I actually started working at the AIO this fall as one of the office assistants and student staff. So if you want to talk about the internship experiences I'm going to share, I'm happy, you can just stop by at the office. Um, so yeah, in the summer of 2024, I received the Vanessa Wilbert International Experience Internship Award, which allowed me to do the internship at Rotary International's District 4391, which is located in the northeast of Brazil. So my home area, not only country, but I'm also from the northeast of Brazil. Um, which was really exciting to be able to do something very local and close to my heart and my heritage and experience. If you don't know, Rotary is a really big not-for-profit organization that operates across many countries, and they touch on a variety of different causes. So from promoting peace and like fighting diseases to supporting local economies and the environment. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone, no matter what your passion is. I will say that if you're working at a more localized level, so at the district or at the club level, the goals of the club or the district might vary a little bit. So you'd have to see if your interests align with the campaigns that are being promoted by that district or that club. The way I got this internship was also incredibly informal. I actually, and this is perhaps some words of encouragement, I had myself gotten rejected from the AIO postings. So I was a little bit taken aback and sort of like, I will admit that I was a bit paralyzed by all of that at first. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not good. And then I just started looking at different places. And my advice for you is to not let rejection paralyze you and make you feel like you're not good enough because again, the competition is just really high. And even if you don't get selected for a position, it doesn't mean that you're not capable. It just means that there was someone else that perhaps aligned for things that are outside of your control, but that you're still very much capable of getting an internship. And so the way I got this internship was because I was a part of a like philanthropic initiative and I was asking for funds and the initiative that I was working with was going to be in Brazil. So I started looking for funding in Brazil and I came across District 4391 and I asked for funding for them. And they seemed to like me as a person. So afterwards, I was like, hey, have you ever had interns? Do you know how that works? And then I kind of like pitched myself again because they already knew me as a person that was working on a philanthropic initiative. And so that kind of led me to be accepted into that position. They had never had an intern, same as Sarah's experience. So it was kind of just like figuring out as we went with my supervisor and setting the rules. And I think that even though this didn't become an official AIO posting, the district definitely became more open to the possibility of having interns. I wrote like a document sort of suggesting roles of what the interns could do at the end of the internship. And I tried to be really proactive with that, which is again like another important advice you have. Try to be proactive and don't be afraid to ask for help and to bring in your suggestions, because it demonstrates that you are passionate and that you're interested in not only getting what is best for you, but helping the organization that you're working with. I also did an internship. I think this isn't as covered here because this was like later on, but at the end of my first year, I did an internship with Monthly Dignity, which is a Montreal-based civil society organization that advocates for menstrual equity through education, distribution of period products, as well as government advocacy. When I joined them in 2023, they were a very, very small organization. Still, I think we're about 10 or 15 staff, but they have grown a lot ever since. And if you reach out, I'm sure that they wouldn't, necessarily reject an intern. I mean, I can't speak for it anymore because I'm not there, but it's a great organization if you're passionate about gender equality issues and menstrual equity and sort of like sexual reproductive health and rights. And again, I also got that internship because I had been volunteering with them. And at the time, one of my bosses as a volunteer had been a McGill student. And they brought up that there was something called the Arts Internship Office I wasn't even aware of. And they said that I should apply and see how it went. And that's how it went. I got the Arts Undergraduate Improvement Fund Internship Award and was able to do that. And again, like 2 different summers, 2 different internships, thanks to the AIO and all the generous donors. So don't hesitate to come to the office to talk to me or reach out via email as well.
Thank you, Maria. All right, I'm just going to re-share my slides because I can't see it properly. All right. So thank you both. I think these are really great stories of, again, making your own internship opportunity happen. So again, when you look for internships, it's both, a mix. Sometimes there's going to be a very formal process, a very, steps to apply in a form and requirements that are really laid out already. Or sometimes you also have to go out and make your own opportunities. Again, there's a lot that goes into it that is very diverse, and it's very much about the connections that you make. The word networking is kind of like a buzzword, but it can come in different ways. And I think it's really about connecting with the people that are around you. And again, our office really tries to facilitate this connection between current students and past interns. So really don't hesitate, as Maria mentioned, I will give you a few next steps, kind of like a summary as well of everything I mentioned today. So again, if you're interested in a specific program or international internships, we have the info sessions coming up. We also have the ARIA annual event, the workshops, the CAPS drop-in hours, and we'll have additional events and info sessions in the winter. Again, for cover letter review, this is really the best place for you to start. Especially with your CV, whether you have one, even it's always good also to get the knowledge about North America, whether, it can be like location specific. Again, don't bring necessarily your draft to the AIO because we are not the experts in the field of reviewing CVs and cover letters. However, as I mentioned, the career applying services have the drop-in hours and appointments. So I really encourage you to start there and to bring your draft to them and attend the workshop. Again, in terms of deadlines, this is a bit of like a rough timeline, but we'll be, announcing the deadlines in the upcoming weeks and months. So for that, you want to make sure that you sign up for our listserv and newsletter. As well, we also have social media. So I think nobody is really on Facebook anymore, but we do have Instagram. But I wouldn't rely on the Instagram algorithm to necessarily bring in all the information. So I really encourage you to sign up for the listserv and newsletter. I'm sure you already get a lot of messages in your inbox. We try to space them out as much as possible, but again, sometimes we share exclusive opportunities that can only be sent through email. So very important resource. And for that, you just send an email to the email that is listed here with subscribe AIO and then put your name in there. And as our current and former staff mentioned, we have drop-in hours. So as I mentioned, for advising, it's really great. So not only for CV cover letter review, but really to show you all the resources that we have and to talk a bit more about your specific interest and, what you're studying or what you would like to do an internship in. And we can try to connect you with the best resources available. So we have them on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we are located in the Leacock building on the 3rd floor, in room 307. And my colleague Joel, sorry I didn't introduce you at the beginning, but it will also be there during drop-in hours. So you can come talk to him and ask all of your internship questions. I also recommend sending us an email. So our email is aio@mcgill.ca. If ever you need to make an appointment outside of these hours, or if you have any specific questions that you would like to ask. But I really encourage you to come in person to the office. Again, you'll see a real human being and hopefully leave the office feeling motivated for your internship search. Or again, if you have specific questions, you can talk to our other staff that are not here today, but have all also completed internship opportunities and are able to share with you. So even if you don't do the mentorship program, you can come to drop-in hours and talk to our staff. Actually, here's a beautiful slide with all of their beautiful faces and all of the ones who are not here today. But again, they've all completed internship opportunities and are able to share their insights with you. And finally, what time it is? Great, 2 minutes. So I will get through the questions. I'll start with the ones in the chat to see if they have been answered by oh, great, Joel is onto it, but I'll just see if anybody else has that same question. So if we take the pre-departure orientation course for international internship, but we don't find any internship in the summer, will it still be valid for the following year, or do we have to do it again? As Joel answered, it's valid for 1 calendar year. So if you also have completed it last year, for example, for going on exchange, just verify the date on the certificates, whether it's expired or not. Otherwise, you would just do it again to make sure it's available for the next summer. But if you don't end up going somewhere, it's all right. Again, this is really like a preparation resource. One thing to note for the pre-departure, if you're traveling to your country of citizenship, you don't have to complete it. Again, I didn't read all your answer, Joel. Maybe you already mentioned it, but so yeah, if you have a passport for that country, then you do not need to do the pre-departure orientation. We don't actually verify that, but we ask that you self-declare, and it's very important, again, for you to do this orientation. The postings will become available. So again, by the end of this semester, around December, January. At 5, okay, great. So I think those were all the questions. My commonly asked questions, I think I've already addressed most of them, but for fall and winter internships, so as I mentioned, the internships are not mandatory. So sometimes students do find opportunities throughout the semester. As I've already explained, the reason why we focus on summer internship is so that you can really focus on your studying during the semester and then focus on your internship during the summer months. So again, you're welcome to do an independent internship at your own doing during the semester. Some of the resources I listed, like the student experience records, would be available to you. So again, if that's the case, I encourage you to come to our office. However, just to note, all of the awards and the postings are all happening in the summer between May and August. Can I pursue an internship that is not directly related to my major? Absolutely. So as you saw from our categories and the diversity, if you go through the awards page, for example, you'll see the diversity of internships that you can conduct. It can be an opportunity for you to try something new that's different from what you are studying. So again, country advising, and then we can help you figure that out. Is it possible for a first year? So as I mentioned, it definitely can be, but it's great for you to be informed about which applications you're applying to. The speakers mentioned, some of them can be very competitive. Again, it's like any application, you definitely don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. We've heard that before, but it's great to diversify the types of opportunities you're applying for, and to make sure that you're applying for an opportunity that is in line with your qualifications and your interests. For any research-oriented internships, I really invite you to look at our ARIA internship. For internships outside of Canada, just to come to the info section and to review the travel section. And for the speaking French, obviously that depends, if you stay in Montreal, but even within Montreal, it depends on the organization. So for our postings, we will usually mention the language requirements. But for any of these positions, it's really to do your own research and to read the requirements carefully. But again, you could also look at an internship outside of Montreal, in Toronto, Ottawa, or internationally. So again, very case by case, but one of the concerns that we get from students. All right, I don't know if there's another question. All right, we have the question, could you please elaborate on the early deadline for the internships? Do we follow the same process as a normal deadline? Thank you. So I'm not going to go into too much detail in case things look a bit different from last year, but just to note that it is a similar process to the main deadline. So you send a CV and cover letter. And yeah, I don't know if you had a more specific question, but again, in terms of the actual deadline, it should be in January. And if you do apply for the first deadline, you could also apply for the February deadline. But again, all those details will be shared once everything is finalized. So I really invite you to again come to the event and to sign up for the listserv so that you get all the updates once everything is finalized and come to our office. Hopefully that answers sufficiently. All right, it is past 2. If you have any other questions, feel free to send them in the chat, and I can try to answer them. Otherwise, again, our email and all of the information is available on our website. Thank you everyone for coming today, and we hope to see you at the office sometime soon. And thank you again, Maria and Sarah, for being our speakers today. And thank you everyone for your attendance.